Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Hakodash. They were understood apostles and elders at Great Millstone who taught us His truth. Shalom to you, Akim, that pushed the word across the four corners of this globe with all truth and sincerity. Bahasham, Rakah, Hakodash. I'm saying, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi outside, the word of the Lord is going to continue to go out, man. Right now, as you can see, what's been going on, throughout the east side of Babylon the Great, Jersey and whatnot. You're seeing more and more chariot sightings with Esau, not telling the people exactly what it is, man. Or they don't know, where these drones are coming from. Man, these devils know, man. These devils know, man. And that, and that's the whole thing right now, man. Everybody's wondering, well, what's going on? Or what's this? You know what I'm saying? Well, since the beginning, the elders and apostles and their elders have been telling you for decades, man. Those strange lightings that you see in the sky, those are deemed the chariots of the Most High, man. The chariots of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, man. You know what I'm saying? The ancient, prophets would describe these these vehicles, when they'll manifest themselves, in their true form, the massive, saucers, quote unquote, right? The ancient prophets would describe them, as a wheel, man, or clouds, like Zechariah. I'll get that precept. I'm saying, where he described the chariot of which he saw, man. It's like bear with me slowly. This is Zechariah chapter 6. Zechariah chapter 6, verse 1. And I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, there came four chariots out from between two mountains, and the mountains were mountains of brass, and the first chariot were red horses. Yeah, man. That's just the main point I want to bring out. I'm gonna go to Ezekiel. I'm gonna go to Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1. Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. Yeah, man. Everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. And I will bring it forth, said the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shah of hosts. They shall enter into the house of the thief, into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof, man. You know, this is Esau's greatest, you know, his threat, man, because he knows who these chariots belong to, man. That's why he's trying to do damage control and, you know, try to control the whole narrative. You know what I'm saying? You know, the government lying to the people. But the prophets out here in the highways and byways are telling you straight up what it is, man. Those crazy guys in the, you know what I'm saying, street corners with the cardboard signs. You know, telling you straight up what it is that, you know, here it is right here in the Bible. Right here in the scriptures, man. You know? Right here in the Bible, man. Telling you exactly what it is, man. You know? But Jake don't care, man. Jake don't care about, you know what I'm saying, the taking heed to the word, you know, or you know, really fearing the Lord, man. Jake don't care about none of that, man. You know? You know what I'm saying? Jake isn't, you know, really even too concerned about the times of the signs. It's like about the signs of the times that's going on. You know? When Jake see these things, you know, they going on the bandwagon, you know, fucking aliens and shit. You know? The world thinks it's, you know, fucking little green men. You know, that's boarding these vehicles. No, man. Those are in fact the angels of whom you ignorantly call God, man. The angels of heaven. You know? Let's go to Ezekiel. This is Ezekiel chapter chapter 1, start at verse 4. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and the brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. You know, so, you know, he saw a chariot, you know, as of the color of amber. You know, like a golden color. You know, like a fiery golden color. And, you know, there's a brightness about it. And also out of the midst thereof came a likeness of 4 living creatures. And this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man, and everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings. You know, and these are actual creatures, man. You know, and each one of the, you know, these faces, begins to, describe, you know, the likeness of what he saw of these creatures. You know, one had the face of I'll read it slightly. This is verse. Yes, this is verse 5. And also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. And this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man. And everyone had 4 faces. And every one had four wings, and their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot. And they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. And they had the hands of a man under their wings on their four sides. And they four had their faces and their wings. Their wings were joined one to another. They turned not when they went. They went everyone straight forward. As for the likeness of their faces, yeah, man. So their movement, was like, like four-dimensional movement. They didn't turn around. How we got to turn around to go left. We got to rotate to go. No, man. Their movement was forward, left, backward. Right. They didn't turn. Their movement was straight up, just forward, backward. There was no rotation to. That makes sense, man. You know what I'm saying? Because these are, extra dimensional beings, man. Creatures. The Lord is far out, man. Like this world that we live in is a third dimensional, realm. You know what I'm saying? So, that we are subjected to, the physics of just this three dimension. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta rotate left, gotta rotate right. You gotta move forward, move backward. Gotta rotate left, and we get tired. You know what I'm saying? We gotta you know what I'm saying, like eat to survive. The fourth dimension and beyond, they're infinite, man. They're infinite beings. You know what I'm saying? They're not limited, to the limits of, of this realm, man. Like there's a math to it, man. It makes sense. You know what I'm saying? If you got four faces, you're able to see both forward, left, right, and behind. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense for just judging by the way how those creatures were moving. You know what I'm saying? Here comes verse 10. As for the likeness of their faces, they four had the face of a man, and the face of a lion on the right side, and they four had the face of an ox on the left side. They four also had the face of an eagle. And these all represents, their attributes. I'm saying I want to say personalities, but I forgot select. Verse 11, and thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched upward. Two wings of every one were joined one to another, and two covered their bodies, and they went every one straight forward. Whither the Spirit was to go, they went, and they turned not when they went. You know what I'm saying? They turned not when they went. Wherever the Spirit was to go, there's a chariot that followed them, man. And the chariot followed the spirits, man. You know what I'm saying? Wherever they went, if they went right, they went right. If they went left, they went left. They went front, they went front. Forward, backward. You know what I'm saying? The vehicle was following them. I'm going to skip down to verse 15. Now, as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures with his four faces. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a beryl. and they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. When they went upon their four sides, they turned not when they went. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them four. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by with them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. Whithersoever the Spirit was to go, they went. Thither was their spirit to go, and the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. So these creatures, you know what I'm saying, bro, the Lord's far out, man. Wherever they moved, the chariots moved with them, and they didn't rotate. You know, they moved forward, backward, left, right, without turning. They didn't turn, man. You know, they didn't turn. You know what I'm saying? These vehicles and these beings are dreadful among, you know what I'm saying, among the heathen, because you know what I'm saying, they understand the power, you know, who's governing behind these things, man. You know, they understand the name behind these powers, man. You know, so these at least they know who Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is, man. They know these chariots, man. And every time they see them, it's an evident token, you know, on how much their time is running out, man. They understand that their fucking time is running out, man. Every time they see these you know, these chariots, man. You know, chariot sightings happen every single fucking day, man. You know, and these chariots are going to appear themselves to destroy Babylon the Great, man. It's gonna be a dreadful sight, man. But it's gonna be a beautiful, you know what I'm saying, day for the elect, man. Because it's gonna be, you know, deliverance also, man. You know, like, you know what I'm saying, just imagine seeing a freakishly large, wide disc-shaped thing, you know, just hovering over the sky, man. That's gonna cause heart attacks, man. Like, you can't even look at that thing, man. It's gonna bug you out. Like, what is this? It's like your mind can't fathom what that is. So it's just gonna bug you out, man. You know, men's hearts failing them for fear for the things that's, you know, come upon the face of the earth, man. You know, I'm not for paraphrase. Man's heart's gonna be failing them for fear, man. And these are times that we're able to see. You know, Jake is, you know, over here bugging out. Aliens, you know, at that one video a couple years back, you know, where Issachar, he saw the fucking NASA feedback of the chariots. He saw this one massive, you know, circle, you know, approaching the earth, you know, on the feedback, you know, the NASA feedback, and then NASA just cut the, they fucking cut the image off. Like, what the fuck? You know, they